What's up, everybody? It's your boy Season. So today we're actually going to be taking a look at Super Build Tiger from Kotobukiya. This is another Brave review. So this one actually comes from Jay Decker. So I'm not going to waste any more time. So let's go. Okay, so first things first, let's take a look at the box. Now, I've said this in countless videos. I love the Kotobukiya Brave box art. This box art is amazing. It looks awesome. So I'm not really even a big fan of Super Build Tiger, but since it's Brave, I have to get it. So of course we're gonna take a look at the sides there. So I think the sides are the same on both. Okay, and then we have the top. It does have, it is written in English and Japanese. So you've got that. You've also got the bonus parts here. And then you've got the bottom. So that's what you got. Pretty basic for Kotobukiya with Brave. So I'm very excited about this one. This one actually came out the day that I was leaving Japan, and I was trying to go to Yodobashi Camera and could not. They didn't have them out yet, so so I had to order it the normal way that I do. So all right, so let's take a look at what's inside. All right, take this off here. Take that box art, put it over here somewhere. Now, so I actually have not built this one yet, but we want to take a look at the runners here. So you've got the runners here. Looks like these are the feet. All right, looks like you've got some clear parts here as well. All right, and these are the hands coming in there. Looks like now with Kotobukiya Brave kits, they actually have these already like pre-colored and stuff, so you don't actually have to do any kind of detail work on this. So I do appreciate that as someone who doesn't really have the time to detail or paint like I used to. All right, got more runners here, front and back. So like I was saying in some of my other videos, yeah, it's pretty, Brave kits are pretty easy to build. These are not super intricate. The detail, just because of the design, because the design is from the early to mid 90s, is relatively simple. So it's not, they're not extremely detailed. Bandai tends to usually do a lot with their detail work. And but for this is actually quite simple. So what else do we got here? So we got more yellow parts there. Looks like those are the bottom of the calves or something. All right, we got this here. All right, more yellow. All right, and more runners. So even though this is not really like a grade or anything, it actually, do have quite a few parts. Now, the one thing about this kit is that Kotobukiya started doing, and I was talking about that in some of my other Brave videos, is that I wish that they would just add the Brave or the super parts together. And it looks like they've done that with this release. Now, are they gonna do that going forward? I'm not sure, but all right. And it looks like those are the drills and stuff for the sides. Okay, so let's take a look at the manual next. All right, so next let's take a look at this manual here. So, of course, you've got the instructions. Now this one looks like it's in Japanese, of course. Now this, I'm actually not sure what this is, but okay, so we'll move that to the side there. So we've got some your parts count here. So it looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So you've got maybe about 13 or 14 runners. So that's not too shabby. All right, we got this here. All right, and so like with Kotobukiya's, these are pretty straightforward. As you see, they're not super intricate, but I am interested to see the actual add-on parts, and I want to actually see the upgraded parts for the Garn as far as his neck piece and stuff. So that also does come with this kit. So we will be taking a look at that as well. So, but as you see, I'm not seeing anything that's out of the ordinary. And of course, here is the story for Jay Decker and Build Tiger. So you've got that now, and then also you've got the color coding for the paint, for your paint mixtures. So you got your percentages and all of that stuff there. So all right, so that's what we've got for the manual. Now let's get into the review. Next, we're actually going to take a look at some of his accessories. So to be honest, he doesn't really have that many accessories for Build Tiger, which is his first form. Most of this stuff is for Super Build Tiger. So like the wings in the back there, the two side things here, the knee guards, the other tiger head, the 2 feet, that's all Super Build Tiger. So is this is actually like his crotch piece here. And so, and you do have to detail this in. This is all yellow. So, but I just took a Gundam marker and was able to fill that in a little bit. So you got that. He's got really the only other weapon he has this, which is the Tiger Cannon, right? So this is just an attachment. You can take the crane piece off here and you can attach that on. This is actually an attachment piece right here. So you've got that. This is the Build Crusher. So it's a spiked ball. He actually had that for Super Build Tiger. And, you know, the thing about it, like these spike things are actually, you have to put those on separately. And I actually lost one in my carpet and I have no idea where it went. So this one here, because I think they give you like 8 of them. So you just have to be cognizant of that. So you've got that. You've also got the extra hip joints. This is actually for Jay Decker, and I'll be putting that on a little later. And then they also give you, and I talked about this in the Kotobukiya video a couple months ago, this is the extended neck part for posing and stuff. And so they actually give you 2 of these. So you can use this on Super Build Tiger. You could use this on Jay Decker. You can use this for DeGarn, whichever one that you want. But I'm glad that they're throwing those in there. So that's pretty cool. But really, all he's got is some hands, right? So he's got 6 pairs of hands. He's got the 2 closed fists that are on him. He's got his semi-open hands. Okay. So he's got the semi-open hands there. He's got the wide open hands. Just like that. And get that to focus. So you got those there. You've got the finger pointing hands. I mean, these guys were cops, so. All right. And then you've got the gun holding hands. Now, it's interesting that they give you gun holding hands because he's actually missing one of Super Build Tiger's weapons. And I was actually quite surprised, but he's missing his riot gun. Now, he only used it, I think, 2 or 3 times as Super Build Tiger, but he still had it. And I'm actually surprised that they did not include that in this set. That is quite interesting. So I have no idea why they didn't do that, but you've got that. And then, of course, you've got like the stop hands or like your salute hands. So you got those there. So pretty much that's what we've got for accessories. So now let's get into some articulation. Next up, we're going to do some articulation. So first things first, what I did is I pulled these 2 parts that he had on his shoulders off. So for the crane part, so you do have some articulation with this crane part here. So that can move up and down. This can extend in and out. All right. And then for the shovel part here, you can move that in and out and up like that. You're not actually going to get any articulation here because this is a one solid plastic piece. But that's where he's going to get most of that movement from there. And then from the shovel part, you can get that down there just like that. Okay, so I took that off so you can actually see his shoulders. Now, the thing about Build Tiger, he actually looks really good at an angle like this versus head on. You can kind of see the curves and the different dynamics as far as the triceps and things of that nature. They're supposed to be big on purpose because in the show, he actually worked out in the gym. And so he's got a very muscular build. And so that's why they did that. But it looks awesome. So anyway, let's take a look here. So first things first, like I said here, you could just take these off and on here. So those plug in both of those ways there. Okay. So I just wanted to show that. And then what we're going to do for his head. Now for his head, he does have 360 movement. So he can move it 360. Nothing's going to really get in the way. Okay. And this is without the extended neck part, right? So he can look up, but not a lot, right? But he can look down. Okay. He can also do the dog, what? Pose. So he can do that as well. I think with the extended neck piece, that would probably be even better. Okay. But especially like a lot of Brave figures, you kind of want to look at them at an angle. So like that neck piece is going to have it to where this can actually look down even further. Okay. So that's what you've got for the neck and the head area. Now for his shoulders, that's where things get interesting, right? So of course, like most of the other Brave kits, he's got this mechanism where he can swing this out, but it's on a really short peg here. All right. So if you see, this peg here is very, very small. And so unfortunately, if you start to move this in and out a lot, it's going to get in the way and it's going to fall off, right? So that's the only part that's bad about that. But, you know, he can do it 360, but it's going to want to unwind. So you can do it 360, but as you see how that part's trying to come off. So, but you can do it. So you've got that part. Now, with his upper shoulder, this is where things get interesting, right? Because he's got another mechanism in here. And that's where you're going to get the most of the movement from his shoulder. So that can fold in all the way like that. And then you can actually raise the arm even higher like that. So I think that is really great articulation. This piece, to my knowledge, has not come out on me every time I've tried to do this. So really good engineering from Kotobukiya on that. So he's got that articulation in the upper shoulder. Now for the bicep, you can actually spin this 360. Okay, so he's got that. He's got a really good elbow bend. And since I said, like, in the show, he kind of worked out, you can kind of do like that muscular, he did a lot of posing in this show. So, you know, but you can do that. And then you actually can spin this at the tricep as well. And it's just like on a little ball joint here or whatever. So you can spin that around. Now, the articulation for this actually comes like that. So that's really good. That is really good. They've done it in a lot of the other Brave model kits, but this one is very pronounced because he's got a muscular build. So I think that looks really, really awesome. So you've got that there. All right. So that's what you've got for the arms. For the wrist, outside of that, that's where you're going to get most of his wrist articulation is on that piece there. This can move up and down. Okay. So you can move that. You can move it from side to side. So that's basic, but most of your articulation is going to come from this part right here. Okay. So you've got that there. Now, let's get in actually to his midsection. This is where things get interesting as well. So for his midsection, all the Brave kits that I've done reviews on, they have like this mechanism right at the top here. And with this one, they did it a little bit different for Build Tiger to where it's not as bulky. And I don't know if you can see that very well, but this is really just one piece in here. And so it's very good, but it does a lot for articulation. Now, what it is this piece is actually connected to the back of the tiger part here. But the thing is with this, you have to make sure that this is in there really good, because when I first built it, I didn't push this in there tight enough, and every time I would mess with the midsection, it would kind of fall off. So make sure that you put that in there tight when you're actually building it, because I had to actually take it apart, push this in there as hard as I could to get it to lock in there, and then now I haven't had any problems with it since. So, but that's where you get most of his articulation in the midsection from, but really, really good. So he can lean all the way back like that. He can lean all the way forward like that. So really good articulation there for Kotobukiya, I must admit. So for the other part of the midsection here, this piece is one solid piece here. All right. And so you're not going to really get any articulation out of it, but he can swing it. So it can go from side to side. Now, you can actually lift this part up so he can actually do 360, because a lot of times what's going to happen is going to hit this back skirt here, but you can actually swing that all the way around. All right. And then actually it doesn't look that bad, but you know, you're going to want to push that back down, but he can do 360 like that. So really good articulation for the upper torso part from Kotobukiya. I'm really shocked. This is really good. So you've got that. Now, for the side skirts, you just got the two wheels here, and you can kind of lift those out all right, if you like. And then you can actually, he does have some movement in the front skirt there, and he's actually got some movement in the back skirt as well. So that'll give you a little bit of room if you need to move his legs back for whatever reason. Now, with this waist mechanism here, they've got it on a swing bar, kind of like they had with Dagarn. And it's kind of going to be hard to see, and I don't know if I can get any light on there. But he's got a swing bar where you can actually swing this all the way forward, and you can swing it all the way back. And what that's going to do is that's going to give him more articulation. And look at that. That's over 90 degrees, right? And he's flat on the ground. So that's over 90 degrees. Really good for the hip joint there. So you've got that. He's also got a knee bend here. Okay, so really good knee bend. The knee doesn't look all that great, but he can do it, right? And that's what counts, right? So you've got that. He can also raise this back, and then I can actually raise this up if I push this in a little more. Let's see if I can move that up. There we go. And you move all that all the way up, and you can raise that. So you literally touch on almost the back of his head. So really good articulation there. I'm really impressed with that. And then also with a lot of these like super robot shows, they had like a lot of stances where you kind of had where like one foot was behind the other. So you can really do that very well with minimum effort on this kit, kind of just like that. So, you know, you would have them standing kind of like at an angle, you know, you've got that. And so with that swing bar in the hips, that makes that really easy to do. So kudos for Kotobukiya on that. Now, can he do the splits? He can. Now, this is the side wheels are actually going to want to come off. But even if I keep them in without popping them out, well, that one actually came out on that peg. All right. But even with it, like he's getting quite a bit. Look at that. Like that's pretty good for Build Tiger. I'm really impressed with that. So you've got that. Now for the ankles, let me kind of get him back to where I had him. Okay, now for the ankles, unfortunately, he's going to be restricted just by these pieces here. Kind of like with Golderon, he was kind of restricted by that as well. So he does have a ball joint in here. It's going to be hard to show, but he does have a ball joint in there. But unfortunately, he's just restricted by the side. So unfortunately, even though he can actually move it, it's not going to move all that much just because of the restrictions on the sides. But he can move that foot up. All right. And then goes flat. It doesn't really go down, but, you know, up and flat. So that's what you've got for the ankles. So really impressed with the articulation for Build Tiger. He doesn't really have any balancing issues. He kind of does want to move back, especially once you start putting the Super Build Tiger parts on him. But overall, really impressed as far as the articulation on this guy. So now we're actually going to do some size comparisons with Jay Decker. So let's get into that. Next, okay, we're going to do some size comparisons. So let me bring out his teammate, Jay Decker, all right? So they're pretty comparable in size. So they look almost exactly the same size. But it's interesting when you have them side by side because to me, Build Tiger just looks so much better than Jay Decker does. And I'll get into putting the extra hip joints into Jay Decker at the end of the video. But like to me, looking at these two, it's night and day. So kudos on Kotobukiya for the changes that they've made to this kit. So we've got that. Now, let's bring in another Kotobukiya Brave kit. That would be Dagarn, right? So they're roughly about the same size as well. I would just say that Build Tiger's shoulders are a little bit taller than Dagarn, but overall pretty comparable. So all the Kotobukiya ones are going to go perfectly together. And then what we're going to do, we're going to bring in some Bandai ones. So of course, one of my personal favorites, the SMP Firebird. So you got that. Now he's considerably shorter than Build Tiger. So you got that there. And then we've got the alternative Destiny King X Kaiser. And he is considerably taller than him as well. So that's what we've got. So on your Brave shelf, Build Tiger will fit in perfectly. So next, what we're going to do is we're actually going to start forming him into Super Build Tiger. So let's get into that. Next, we're going to actually start forming him into Super Build Tiger. So these are the main parts that you're going to need here. So in essence, he's kind of a parts former in this, you know, it's a model, so I don't really expect it to like transform or whatever. But you're gonna have to take a lot of pieces off. So we're actually gonna start doing this in sections, okay? So what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna take his arms off. And I'm taking these off. You don't actually have to do this, but I'm doing it just to show you what you have to do to put these pieces on. So first things first, he has this part here, and this is actually supposed to be together. But what I did is I took a part separator in order to split this up, because this is in there really, really tight. And all of these pieces need to come off in order to put the super parts on. So what you're going to do, you're going to take that and slide that back because it's on like a little track there. Okay. So that will come off there. This one will slide off there. Now, off camera, it took me a minute to do that. So you got that, and then you got to do the same thing for this side. Okay, so you'll take that, slide that off. We'll take this part and slide that off as well. Okay, so you're going to do that, and then you're actually going to take off the tiger head. All right, so the tiger head, now I don't have any nails or anything to really grab onto. So it's going to take a little bit of force there. All right, but that's on there. So that comes off there. Now, what we'll do, and then we'll actually go ahead and get him set up here. So what you're going to do, these two pieces here are going to slide right into those tracks there. Okay, so you're going to take that, slide that in. Boom, put that on there just like that, okay? And then these actually do move in and out, okay, as well. So you've got that. And then we're actually gonna put on his wings. So I got the back part in here as well, because this is another one that's really, really tight. So I just left it on there. So I think it's actually probably best to just leave it on there, okay? So you've got that, and then those will slide in just like the front part did. Just like this. I can get in there so I can see. All right, looks like I got one side. Let's take a look at the other side here. All right, there we go. And then you put that together. That assembly is way better than with J. Decker. With J. Decker, the back piece used to fall off all the time on Fire J. Decker. So I actually really like how Kotobukiya did that. So now you've got kind of like that part up. Now we're gonna do some stuff with his legs, okay? So first things first, we're actually gonna take off this crotch piece here. And all of this stuff is nice and tight, so you're gonna have to use a little bit. You don't wanna go crazy on the thing, but just to loosen it up here. All right, as that just falls on the ground. So pull that piece off. Let me grab that piece real quick. So what we're actually going to do, because I'm gonna need to use his legs, I'm gonna take this this top piece off here, okay? So that'll just it'll be easier to show you on camera, okay? So what we're gonna do, we're gonna take off this original cod piece and put on this cod piece. So, and then those will go right back on there, just like that. Okay, and then you can put this one back on. Let's see if those will match up. Okay, just like that. All right, and then for the legs, what you've got is you can take off these side pieces here. Okay, and then you're gonna take off this front piece that slides off too on a just like that. And then we're going to actually take the feet off as well. So let's pull that out. Just like this one here as well. Okay. And then we're going to put the new feet on. All right, just like that. Now, the interesting thing about the new feet is they actually give you another ball socket. In the J. Decker one, as I was taking that one out, because usually on my display I have them in their super forms, so I had them in Fire J. Decker. He only had one of these, so he had to constantly keep pulling this in and out of the foot in order to do that. So I'm glad that they actually put another one in here so you don't have to do that. So you've got that in there. Let's push that in, okay, just like that. All right, so he's almost done with the feet here. Now, what we're going to do, we're going to take these orange pieces here, and we're going to push these on the side, just like that. Okay, so it looks like that. And then you could probably put the shin guards on first if you want. I don't, but you know, it is what it is. It'll work both ways. So you've got that, and then we'll put this one on here. Let's slide that one on. Boom. All right, so that's it with the feet. All right, so we've actually got them moving back like that. So you've got that. Now we can put on this front part here and reattach that. Boom, just like that. And then we can put on his arms finally. Put that on. Boom. All right. And put that back on. And I found that this is probably the easiest way to transform him. Now, of course, you know, when you don't have a camera in your face and I'm trying to show somebody, it's actually not that difficult. But yeah, so you've got that there. So that's what you've got for Super Build Tiger. Now I'm trying to get him to stand up the way I want him. All right. So there we go. Let's see if we can, there we go. All right, so that's what you have for Super Build Tiger. Now, next, actually what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to put the extended parts on Jay Decker. So let's do that next. So now we're actually going to put the new hip joints that came with Super Build Tiger on Jay Decker. So really we just need the hip parts here. So what we're going to do is we're just going to take this part off. All right, just like that. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take the front skirts, take those off, take the side skirts. And really, you're just going to be swapping this out. Okay, so take that, and then let me take the back skirt off. Okay, just like that. And then we'll undo this. And actually, I'm going to need that. So let's pull this out, actually. Actually, you know what? No, we don't need that. So we can actually just pull those out. All right, so we've got that. So this is the old one. Okay, and that one has no swing bar, so as you can see, it's just one solid piece, so it doesn't really move or anything, compared to the new one. And the new one has that new swing bar, so you can just kind of move that down just like that. All right, and you can keep that one up or that. That's how you can get a lot of those stances. Okay, so all we're going to do is swap that out. So we'll take that, put that back in here. And let's push this back in here real quick. Boom. Just like that. Take this one. Push this one back. All right, just like that. And I can already tell it's better than the old one for sure. So you got that. And then we can take these, put the side skirts back on. All right. Put the back skirt on. And then we're going to take the front skirts here, and we're going to put those back on. Okay, and then we're going to put that back in there, just like that. Hopefully that's on there well, okay. And then we're going to take this part and put this back on here. Oops, that's upside down. All right. And then actually, it's interesting, now that I got this off, I can actually show you. See how much bigger that one was than the Build Tiger one? This is a lot bigger mechanism to where they pretty much got the same effect, if not a little bit better, with that smaller mechanism than this whole thing here. But this isn't bad either. I actually like them both ways. So just if that peg was just a little bit longer, we wouldn't have any issues at all. All right, so there we go. So that's him with the new hip joints. And like, let's swing this one so I can swing that one forward. And let's move this up here. Swing that one forward. Boom, look at that. Yeah, so much better. So much better than the original. And then you can also get those stances that you want as well. So you can kind of get those stances like that there. Boom. Very good. All right. So the neck part is pretty, I mean, I guess I can do it here real quick. It's not going to take much. All right. So let's do this here. We'll just try it on Jay Decker. All right. So Jay Decker, his head always had this piece that likes to come off. So we'll do that. All right. And then you're going to put this on here. And then you can actually detail that part too. I didn't put any panel lighting on there. And then what we're going to do, we're actually going to take this out. I'll tell you what, let me do that off of camera, and we'll do that right after this short break. Okay, so I was finally able to pull this out. So this is the old one here, okay? Now, don't throw this away just because you got a new one, right? Because if you look at this, that's a significant size difference. And you say, well, that looks kind of goofy with that extended neck on. Well, really, it's only for posing, okay? So what we're going to do is we're actually going to put this in there, okay? So you would say, okay, well, he's got a really long neck now. Well, that's not really what it's for. So what it's for is for a lot of that, okay? And so if you look at that from an angle, that looks way better than with the shorter neck, because with the shorter neck, you couldn't see any of his face. You would just see kind of like the top part here. So that's what that's for. That's mainly for posing. So you could leave it in that if you like, and it doesn't actually look that far out of place, but if you look at it straight on, it does look kind of big. But, you know, overall, I like it. You know, if you're someone who does do a lot of photo work, that's definitely going to come in handy. So don't get rid of this one just because you got the new one, but you can use both. All right. So now we will actually get into final thoughts. All right. So next, and right before we get into final thoughts, there's one more move that I want to demonstrate. Now, for some of those who are wondering, do the super parts restrict Build Tiger's movement? Not really. I mean, like, of course, the two drill pieces are going to kind of restrict the upper shoulders here, but you can still do quite a bit with this, right? So you can kind of get in there because he did like a lot of like flexing poses and stuff. So you can do it with a little bit of finagling. It does kind of look silly, I'm not gonna lie, but he can do it. But one of his actual super attacks in Super Build Tiger was the Tiger Fang, and that's a move that he did with Jay Decker. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to demonstrate how that would look, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to take this, we're going to flex these muscles out here, like that, and then we're going to kind of have him in this wider stance, like this, okay? And then really, all he would need to do is take the Tiger Cannon and actually turn it backwards. So what we're going to do is we're going to take that and we're going to flip that backwards just like that. Okay. And then we'll have him out like this. Now, this actually looks good at a certain angle for all those photographers out there. But outside of it, it kind of does look a little silly. I'm not going to lie. But so what we're going to do, we're going to actually bring him closer. We're going to bring in Jay Decker, and really all you're going to do is connect this piece here to this piece here. So it actually goes in there just like that. So let's push this in here. All right. And you're going to hold it like that. And then we're going to kind of have that at an angle like that. And that's actually fine if we have him in the background out of focus. All right. And then what you're going to do is you're going to take the mouthpiece, open this up. If I can get my finger, I don't have no fingernails. There we go. All right. And then you have that wide open like that. And then he would have that connected. You put that back in there just like that. And then boom, that is the Tiger Fang. So that's what that looks like there. So actually, that doesn't look bad. I'm not gonna lie, but if you look at it from a diagonal point of view, it does look kind of silly. But at that particular angle, this angle here, it actually doesn't look bad. So that's what we've got for Super Build Tiger. Now, we'll finally get into final thoughts. So, last thoughts on this guy. I must say, I love this Super Build Tiger or Build Tiger. It's better than Jay Decker in every single way. Its actual look, the articulation is a 10 out of 10. It's so good. And the thing is, he's not even the main character in that series. It is Jay Decker. And the fact that they made a better model than Jay Decker, I actually find kind of interesting. But also the fact that they actually try to fix some of the problems with Jay Decker, which was the hip joints and the extended neck part. So you could do a lot of photo stuff with that. I think that that's amazing. And so the amount of stuff that we get in this kit, the fact that we didn't have to buy the super parts separately, and the fact that it all came in one set, Kotobukiya, keep doing that with this line going forward. There's no reason to have it split up into two. So I like what they've done here. For me, out of 10, it's a 10. This might be, I would have to really think about it, but I think this may be the best Kotobukiya Brave kit that has been released thus far. And so that makes me very excited for the line going forward. We have Dino Guys coming out next month, and we'll see what that one has. That also has some parts to fix Great X Kaiser. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. It makes me excited for the Brave line going forward from Kotobukiya. You know, you guys know I love Dagwan and Firebird. So if I can get both of those, and I can get them in the type of articulation that they just showed me with this Super Build Tiger, we're going to be in for a treat. So thank you guys. Also, I've gotten a lot of new subscribers due to that Gundam shopping in Japan video. And even though I'm not really a vlog channel, I do appreciate that. Got a lot of good feedback, and people in the comments were actually asking me for a part 2. So I will be working on that in the next couple of weeks, even though Christmas is kind of a busy time for me. I definitely will be working on that and try to get that out by the end of the year. So thank you guys for the new subscribers. I don't really ask for new subscribers, but I appreciate anyone who's willing to subscribe to the channel. And, you know, we're going to keep doing this going forward. So thank you guys for watching the video, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.